I have a complicated history with trees. This is a tree in my backyard, an oak tree. I have loved some trees on the one hand, willows and redwoods and tulip poplars, Blue Ridge trees and California trees, Colorado trees and Texas trees. But I have fallen in love with trees in Monteverde, Costa Rica. My heart was taken there when we were in the cloud forest with my family, engaging new neighbors for about 2 years when I was serving there with my faith community. There are over 700 tree species not too far from my house. We had all these new neighbors around our neighborhood, like this two-toed sloth. We also met beautiful people and incredible people that were there of all kinds of walks of life. We also met amazing birds like toucanet and motmot. And the blue-crowned motmot has this amazing call that goes like this. Toot, 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 toot. Some of our neighbors. Now, I have a complicated history with trees and my love for trees because parts of my faith family tree are complicit in the harm to trees, to creatures, and to people. I'm a part of the Christian faith tradition, and part of my faith history has focused on passages in Scripture that condone domination and violation, starting way back in Genesis. This kind of narrow reading has encouraged us to see the world like a Walmart store on Black Friday. Pillage and Extraction, the name of the game. Domination by those seeking wealth and power has encouraged extraction. Climate disrupting carbon has been drawn from the earth, coal, gas, oil, but also fish, trees, fresh water, all extracted and oftentimes recklessly. But not just animals, minerals, and plants. People have been extracted as well. People created in the image of God were extracted from their land, with scriptures justifying displacement, slavery, and lynchings. The Peace and Justice Memorial gives a glimpse of just some of the lynchings in the United States, but not just extraction, but a sense of evacuation is a part of our lives. Like the wildfires already mentioned in Colorado and California, hurricanes and floods, heat have caused people and creatures to evacuate their homelands if they are able. But there are even bigger evacuation plans, bigger ways to leave Earth behind, with scientists exploring going to Mars and beyond. But that's not where it ends. In my faith ancestry, before scientists, people were encouraging theology and practice of the spiritual evacuation of Earth that would devalue the here and now. Extraction and evacuation separate us from Earth, us from one another, us from God, and us from ourselves. We are uprooted and severed from life itself. Trees have captured my heart, like this big mahogany tree right outside the house that we lived in Costa Rica. It's big and beautiful and loud. Huge seed pods would fall on our metal roof in the middle of the night throughout our first months there. Eventually, we were told by the landlord that the tree would have to be cut down because it was too dangerous to our lives and to the economics. And we had a decision to make. This neighbor right outside, our first inclination was to ignore, to forget about the tree and the bad news, to avoid it and separate from it, to evacuate from it. But we instead tried something different. We stepped toward it. We tied up a rope swing and began to play around that tree. We climbed that tree with harnesses and ropes up and down, up and down. My third grader and kindergartner fell in love just like I did, and eventually it was cut down. Commodified. We were heartbroken. We were heartbroken. But we were no worse for loving well. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. With the three pandemics of COVID-19, climate change, and systemic racism, there are challenges ahead. And those most vulnerable among us will bear the heaviest burdens in the coming months and years, and I will be tempted to evacuate. But what if I try stepping toward? Heeding the thousands of passages in the Christian Bible and the voices in my faith family tree that say, love is the greatest commandment of all. That we are to love our neighbors, and that this world is worth saving and stepping toward, even if it hurts sometimes. Through the Creation Care Alliance, we are seeing congregations that are doing this kinds of work of love. And we will need policies. We will need solar panel power. We'll need permaculture. We'll need plant-based eating. We will need movement making and faithful troublemaking in our work. But alongside all of these incredible solutions, I hope to keep stepping closer to the heart of God, closer to the heart of compassion, toward relationships with those who are most threatened. May I not evacuate my own heart in this difficult time. The heart, perhaps, is what is needed most.